hearing this, I love you.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
If you're hearing this, I love you.
Welcome to Tea Time with Sweetapple. I'm Sweetapple. Today we're going to have some Rob Huar. While we are all stuck waiting for the first of the finale trilogy of Demon Slayer movies, I thought maybe we could enjoy a little bit of Demon Slayer. I was considering saving this for a longer time. I was planning to sit on this for a couple years, but you know what? I think I'm just gonna drink one of these now, cause this is good tea. And I was thinking about the anime Demon Slayer this morning. Hey, Sammy, what's good? But yeah, I was just thinking about the anime this morning and how bummed I am that it ended. The season ended the way it did, cause the hell was that? But I am excited that they're going to be doing the finale as a trilogy of films. That'll be sick. Hope you're having a good day, Sammy. Happy Monday. The weekend is sadly over, but that just means it's time to get to work and do awesome shit. Ooh, you got a new shoe. 200 grams of Da Hong Pao. Ooh, very nice. I'm almost done with the Taiwan Yin that I had on stream. So I was actually going to be opening another oolong pretty soon. Maybe maybe we can sip some Da Hong Pao together over the stream. Because I do have some Da Hong Pao that I've been itching to crack into. But I got to finish this first. There's overtime and bonus opportunities galore. The young men like their money and they all come back for more. Soon you're knacking on and you look older than you should. For every bob made on the job you pay with flesh and blood. And it's go boys go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. I have not yet. To be honest, every time I go to the grocery store, I just straight up forget to buy condensed milk. But I think it was Pocket Man, or was it you that suggested the powdered milk? I think it was Pocket Man. But no, I've not had milk oolong yet, though it is definitely on my radar once my ADHD allows me to remember to buy powdered milk. But yeah, I remember the recipe that I was suggested, so I do plan to try that. Maybe I'll do that on stream. No milk oolong, as in, oh yeah, I totally went in a totally different direction. I was thinking like milk tea. No, I haven't bought any tea since the that big unit sourcing order. Um, and I've got a few other things that I need to buy before I make another big tea purchase. But I think in the next month or so, I might buy a little something like a milk oolong or a bug bitten one. So yeah, once my yeah, we'll have to see, but I do want to try that still very much. I just think it's an interesting concept. You know, I like buttery, milky things, so that definitely appeals to me. But yeah, one thing will be totally paid off. I think October. I think is the last payment on one thing, which will help free things up a bit. Also, my birthday is in a couple weeks, so I might get some money, or someone might buy me tea. It's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm also, actively not buying things right now. Cause have you ever like bought something and then somebody got you that exact thing as a gift, and you have to like pretend like, oh, this is so lit, but then in the back of your mind you're like, I gotta go return what I just bought. Yeah. So I'm trying to avoid that. And maybe that's just me being too anxious of a person, but yeah, I try not to like buy things when it's close to my birthday. But yeah, I am hoping to soon-ish get that. That's the plan. That's the move. Though depending how much money I get, I may use that for a drawing tablet. Um, if I end up getting like a hefty chunk, I'll probably put it towards that, because then I can use that to start designing clothing, and also for editing clips from these streams. Yeah, I think I'd get a lot of utility out of that. But after that, and after I pay off what literally is my first ever tea wear, like half of my tea wear and a bunch of tea I did on payment. So once I finish paying that off, I get the permanent tab. Oh, and I need to get a dummy bag. That's only like $50. Once those three things are taken care of, I do plan to buy some, and I'll probably get some more. This thing is damn expensive. Lord. Yeah, so that's the plan. I do want to try it. Just kind of have the opportunities. Especially because life gets expensive. By any chance hear about this crazy lawsuit that's going on in the States right now? 'Cause I've been thinking about it. It's absolutely starting. Um, basically, this man and his wife went to Disney Park. Oh, my mic is crackling. So I'm gonna mute it because I think I need to adjust the loud crack. One second. Alright. Hopefully that's better. Out. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Is this any better? Or is it still quite crackly? Sick. Yeah, sometimes I just bump the cable when I'm coming and going, and it just gets a little loose. But yeah, so this dude took his wife to, I think it was Disney World or one of the other parks, and they went to one of the restaurants at the park, and they were like, "Hey, my wife, she has a dairy allergy. Um, is this food on this buffet allergy safe?" Because there were no like markers or anything for allergens. And after a few back and forths with the restaurant staff, they had been assured that everything was safe to eat. Everything was not safe to eat, and unfortunately, the man's wife passed away. But the most absurd, sick, insane twist of it all is that Disney told him, "No, sorry, you can't sue us for wrongful death. You had a Disney Plus trial, and apparently, in the terms when you sign up for a Disney Plus account, you agree to forfeit your right to sue them for anything that happens in the parks or anything Disney affiliated at all. So that's the hot gossip in the U.S. right now. Is everyone talking about this wild Disney case where apparently if you sign up for Disney Plus, you can't sue Disney, which is interesting. And I think we're gonna see more news about it, to be honest, because it's one of those cases that is one likely to go to the Supreme Court, and as a result of that, end up setting a whole precedent, legally speaking, for this country moving forward. And I just, I'm so flabbergasted at the notion that signing up for an app be used as this, like the terms and conditions of an app sign up can be used as deflection for negligence in real life. Oh yeah, Disney's pure evil. Definitely. um, I think this is probably the first time that I remember Disney really going mask off. I've heard the stories and whatnot, and it's one thing to hear about it, but wow, seeing it unfold in real time is vile. But it's wild. Oh, you want to hear the craziest thing happened to me yesterday? The absolutely nuttiest thing. So my girlfriend wanted a hamburger, so for lunch, so we went to get fast food. Very dark company, very dark company. This will be a little bit lighter of a story, but we wanted to get fast food, and we decided to go out, get takeout, hit up the drive-through, and we place a mobile order and go to get it. And we're in the drive-through. We get up to the second window, and the person who was getting us the receipt seemed a little disorganized. It was a little busy and things were a little hectic, so I totally get that. But for whatever reason, they had trouble finding our receipt, and it was because they had already crumpled and discarded it. So they had to like find it and then hand us this like crumpled up receipt and whatnot. But while that's going on, this white SUV comes out of nowhere and just pulls right in front of us, in front of the line, and goes to the next window. And we're both sitting there waiting to get the receipt as this guy is like fumbling with all the receipts he's thrown out. And I'm just sitting there thinking, this motherfucker's gonna steal our food. And sure enough, I see the person at the next window hand them a bag of food, and we go, okay, and then two Cokes, and then two Cokes get handed through. And so now at this point we're like, yeah, we definitely need that receipt. And we eventually get it and pull up to the next window, and lo and behold, they gave away our food. And so we had to pull up and wait for them to remake our order. And they were all, you could tell they felt bad because they were all incredibly nice and super apologetic. I almost felt bad for them because, I mean, someone pulls up to the window, you hand food to them, that's the job. I get it. Like, I don't even think that's their fault. That was just a wild sequence of events. And the audacity to just pull up and snatch someone's food like that. I've never I've seen like TikToks of people running past, and I've even seen people try to like angle to do that on me, like when I was in Seattle and stuff. But to pull up in your car and jump the line and steal food, I've never seen it before. And I don't know if I ever will see it again. But I used to always complain about the drive-throughs that had like the concrete barrier or the curb that would like lock you in, and it was super narrow and hard to drive through. I get why they do that now. From firsthand experience, I get it. So that happened yesterday, and we did get our food. They got my drink wrong. They gave me a Diet Coke instead of a regular, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. Although I do think like synthetic sweeteners taste whack. it just I can taste it immediately. I know there's some people who say like, "Oh, I can't tell the difference," and honestly, I'm happy for them because it's probably better to not drink the real thing, but I can just instantly know the difference. No, they didn't order anything. So this place didn't have one of those curbs that like locks or like blocks off the drive-through lane. There was just like more parking to our right. So he just came around the parking lot and pulled into the line in front of us without ordering anything. Like the gall at which point I'm like, you know what? Take the food. You had the gall to do that. You can have it. I don't care. I think McDonald's will be okay. I'm gonna get my food anyway. But wow, I was dumbfounded. I've never seen anything like that ever before. Yeah, it was very yeah, it stuck with me. It'll stick with me for a while, I think. But they probably should block off that part of the drive-through so that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, so that was my little adventure, I guess. Kind of blew my mind. Um, Also, I was just kind of like, can I do that? Can I get free food that way? I'm not trying to make anyone's life harder though. I am impressed it worked. But yeah, as far as I could tell, the dude didn't order anything. He just kind of circumvented the whole line and got free food. Which again, like galaxy brain move, if I'm honest. I can't even be mad. That was a smart hustle. I feel the same way about that I do like when I see someone stealing from the grocery store. It's like, yeah, you're stealing and stealing is wrong, but you're stealing food. So I have to assume that like you're you're pretty hungry and pretty desperate. So I'm just gonna, turn the other way and I didn't see that.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
If you're hearing this,
I also feel like we finally reached the tipping point where it makes more sense to pirate movies than it does to stream them. Because I feel like lately when I go to look for something to watch, all the streamers are just totally dry. And you get like little batches where you'll get a handful of interesting movies every once in a while. And they all seem to come out around the same time across all the streamers. But the amount of money you gotta pay to access all of them, the effort to figure out what's where and look for it, I feel like it's just easier and definitely cheaper to just go to like one pirate website and watch your stuff there. Which is sort of poetic because streaming started off as piracy. So it's really come full circle. And I love that these companies are losing money like that. I really do love that for them. Because I feel like they've just reinvented cable at this point, and like I hate that. They got ads on everything too. Like, come on, man. Oh, the tea is good. I'm rambling today. But yeah, and this is the first time I think I'm having the Demon Slayer since Earl suggested I switch my pairings. Switching this one to the raw, and yeah, this is really tasty. It's definitely much more fruity, way less bitter and astringent. So Earl was definitely spot on with that suggestion. Hmm. Yeah, that's good stuff. A little bit for Niels. I'm getting sent a prototype uh, of, I can't really go into too much detail because it's a prototype, but a friend of mine who's a musician, they're putting something together that they're planning to sell as part of their, I guess merchandising would be what it would fall under. But I get to I get one of the prototypes and I'm really excited. I think it's a really cool concept. It could honestly be a game changer. I could definitely see people copping the idea and making it their own. But excuse me, I got like hiccups all of a sudden. But I could definitely see people copping the idea. Um, and I'm excited. I feel like all my friends are up to really cool stuff right now. I'm very stoked for them. I got a friend who's doing their first show in Chicago soon. I wish I was in Chicago so I could go see it. What else is going on? I have a friend who's getting like pestered by A&R artists or A&R people in his DMs on IG. And me and my friends are not particularly keen on record labels or label representation. So he's just kind of clowning on them whenever they pull up, which is really funny. But yeah, it's cool seeing my friends do cool stuff. Stoked for them. I'm also stoked for August to be over. I don't like August. I'm also very much ready for this election cycle to be over. We got the DNC this week, and I'm sure that's gonna be a mess. Ooh, I love rainy season. We don't get a ton of rain here, but our winter I would describe as a rainy season because we definitely don't get snow, but it's the only time of year we do get any rain, and it's so nice. The AC actually works because like right now it does its best in the summer, you know what I'm saying? But in the fall and in the winter, it's just nice. It's cool, but it's still sunny. We've had like hella earthquakes. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I love some good rain or like a good thunderstorm. Uh, I remember South Carolina had really good thunderstorms when I lived there. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait for our first like good storm this year so I can just open the blinds all the way, watch the rain fall and sip some tea. That's going to be a vibe for sure. It would almost be worth trying to figure out how to switch up my angle so it's more facing this way so I could get like the glass with the drops on it in the background behind the tea tray and everything. That'd be a nice shot. Um, But yes, I'm very excited for rainy season. I definitely, that's something I kind of miss out here. Seattle, it always rained. But you didn't really get proper storms. It was just kind of always drizzling, which sometimes was really nice, like when it was hot and you just get that light mist, so it kind of cool you down as you're walking around the city. Um, Sometimes it was just kind of miserable. But I feel like my girlfriend and I, we keep talking about wanting to head back out east. They get some good thunderstorms out east, so that'll be nice. I think ideally we would want to. I think I've already said this, but we would like to end up in Toronto, get to Canada, where I have a little bit more access to social safety nets for myself, and there's actually a lot of like neuroscience and related stuff out that way. So it's optimistic. I feel like we got a decent chance. Ooh, the smell of rain. Um, what is it called? It's not ozone, I don't think. But yeah, the smell of rain is great. Very soothing. West China tea. I think I tossed out the packaging, but one of the shoe that I got from them was the rain butter shoe, and it had that rain smell to it. It was really nice. That would be the perfect tea for a rainy day, you could argue. I've been super addicted to this game called Lumbercats. uh, if you're familiar with like idle tycoon type games, it's very mellow. Um, it's one of the few types of games like that where you can actually enjoy it for quite a time without have like for free. A lot of them try to push you really hard for the buy like premium add-ons and stuff. You're thinking of buying a moss terrarium for your tea setup. Open it up and get ooh, big brain. Would you so would the terrarium be just for the moss and other plants, or would you have some little creepy crawlers in there as well? I watch a YouTube channel called Ants Canada, and that's kind of where my mind immediately went. He's got these gigantic vivariums that are basically a mini rainforest, just plants. That's still very cool. It's nice. I wish I had some more greenery in our apartment. Plants are kind of expensive though, and I don't know if I have the mental wellness to take care of them. To be honest, I think I would neglect them. But I do wish we had a little more greenery. It's a lot of concrete around here. Um, but that sounds like a great idea. Someday I'd love to have a giant vivarium with like little critters and stuff inside that I can just like chill and drink tea watching them do their thing. But that's a dream. That's a long ways away because I can't even begin to imagine how much sorry, hiccups came back. I can't even imagine how much a giant vivarium like that would cost. What so you want to have some moss in there? Is there any other plants in particular that you would want to have inside the terrarium?
If you're hearing this,
I'd love to also someday have green space enough for a garden, and grow some food, especially like some onions, ooh, and tomatoes, so I can make fresh pasta sauce. That would be amazing. And some garlic and basil. I'm just making myself hungry now. You just want it to look like a rainforest. That's cool. That's really cool. That would be extremely cozy to just kind of chill out in front of and drink tea. Have your own little personal rainforest. It's taking the smell of all the moss and everything. That sounds dope. You should definitely do that. I support that 1000%. All this talk about rainforests has me thinking about Rainforest Cafe for some reason. I don't know. I think I've been to those like once when I was real young. Very cursed restaurant for sure. Um, but I'd love to visit an actual rainforest. So many just incredible animals that I'd love to get a chance to see. Probably need a guide for something like that though. I can imagine there's a lot of dangers just wandering into a random forest you're unfamiliar with, especially one that's as massive as the rainforests are. I've actually, since I've been watching Plants Canada, I've just been kind of really, I guess, back on my animals or cool kick. You know, when I was a kid, I was really into reading about like animals and nature documentaries and stuff like that. And then I got not necessarily uninterested in it, but just more interested in other stuff. And lately, I've been back into learning about animals or watching like random documentaries on YouTube and stuff like that. Um, what was it? I watched this random. I get suggested the most random stuff now, but I saw this video, and it just happened to be talking about the species of hummingbird that happened to visit my apartment or my feeder that I set up. And shoot, what was their name? It was so funny. It was like it had something to do with like how they looked like a badminton birdie. Let me see here. Hummingbird species. The buff-bellied hummingbird. That's a hilarious name. Hmm. I'm not seeing the thing that I saw. You fall asleep every day with a documentary playing on your iPad. That's the move for sure. Documentaries are very, very great nap material. Oh, we get ruby throated. But what is the fuzzy one that we get? Oh well, whatever. Yeah, no, I love falling asleep with like a documentary on or a podcast or something like that. Sometimes I'll even put the volume low enough that like I can't actually hear the specific things they're talking about, but it's just kind of this dull lull or dull roar to help me just doze off, give me something to like focus on because my ADHD is too powerful. If I don't have something to hold my attention, I'll just be thinking about the most random, pointless things all night. I'll be like, oh, did I lock the door? Oh, okay, the door is locked. Did I lock the car door? Did I leave anything in the car? I feel like I left something in the car. I don't think I left anything in the car. And then so on and so forth. But, you know, now we have technology. We don't need to sleep in silence. I also think that living in Seattle made it so that I have a hard time falling asleep when it's quiet because there's just, when you're in a city, there's always something going on. Seattle, like we had this one dude in Seattle. He would just like come out of nowhere every day around like 9 o'clock and just scream at the top of his lungs for like an hour. Just all like for a whole hour. It was wild. Cause especially because it was like clockwork, almost the same time every night. And I got a few glimpses at the dude occasionally. He wasn't always somewhere where we could see him to figure out where the sound was coming from, but he appeared to be unhoused, which is probably not surprising. And you know, the fact that man ended up in the same spot doing the same thing at the same time every day, you gotta respect the what's the word? Hey, the what's the word for when you're like always on time? Because he was that. He certainly was that. Man was always on time. But yeah, I swear, every time I think about Seattle, I just start thinking about all the crazy stuff I saw out there. That place is wild. Deep, like so depressing because you're just like immersed in the like deepest despair and just squalor all the time, unless you're rich and you can just afford to avoid it. But the average person is just immersed in it. But you do see some wacky things. Like I saw a dude get tased on the bus by his girlfriend. Yeah. Mount Rainier is very majestic. Top of your wish list if you come back. Yeah, Mount Rainier is very beautiful. We you my girlfriend was working at UW, and they have a actually like cherry blossom park actually that's absolutely gorgeous to visit in the summer. They have a whole little festival around it and everything. But when you walk past that, there's a little open space with like a fountain and everything, and it's just a straight shot view to Mount Rainier, and it's very beautiful. Um, Now I live in Riverside in the Inland Empire, and we have panoramic mountains just like that. It's pretty wild, actually. But mountains are just, I love mountains. That's definitely when we go back out east eventually. That's the thing that I'll definitely miss the most. Though with mountains comes earthquakes, and we've had hella earthquakes lately. I do they start. We've had, I think it was like 13 earthquakes this year that are over a 4.0, which not particularly powerful, but the frequency, it makes me wonder if the big one is coming, and I sure hope it's not. But I also I I was also very paranoid that Mount Rainier was gonna like erupt when I was in Seattle, so I'm glad that didn't happen because apparently it's fairly due, but I'm sure like due in terms of geology doesn't mean like, oh, it's happening this week. It's like I think in the next 100 years or something like that. I can't quite remember, but volcanoes are dope. Mount Rainier is gorgeous. Maybe my favorite volcano. Hard to say. Hard to say. But definitely worth a visit. Something is cooking. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't think it's active. I'm not even sure. But the parks in Seattle are really nice. I will give them that. Or not Seattle, but like Washington. Um Seattle proper is pretty depressing, but um Japan is concerned about a mega thrust. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of tectonic plate movement these days because there's a lot of earthquakes. Had one, the most recent one, I think it was the most recent one. It was pretty close, closer than the other ones had been. So like we really felt it. It was very jarring.
If you're hearing this, I love you.
But they're always super short. Um, Sometimes they're kind of fun, low key. I'm not gonna lie, just a little woo, rocking. But sometimes it's a little startling. You're just kind of chilling, and all of a sudden, like, whoa. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had one while me or my girlfriend have been driving yet. I don't know what that would be like, and I don't think I want to find out. But yeah, the idea of these like mega thrusts is a little scary, a little bit. Not gonna lie. But what are you gonna do? It's either gonna happen or it's not. Not really anything I can do to stop it. I shall hold the earth together. No more movement, planet. Like Captain America holding on to the helicopter. But no, it is I think about it every time we have an earthquake because I'm like, there's been a lot of those lately. I hope we don't have any big ones. Because yeah, I don't know what I would do, but I guess just hopefully survive. Hopefully this house would hold up, or this apartment, I should say. I know they got all their regulations for earthquake code in California and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't trust it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'd prefer to just not have to see it though. I got a few more years here, and then we'll probably make our way back east. Another thing that'll be nice about going out east is drinkable water. Not having to go to a store to buy 5-gallon jugs of water for drinking will be very nice when we eventually go back east. 7.1 was the biggest one you felt. Well, that's pretty big. That is quite sizable earthquake. The biggest I've felt is like a 4 point something. You just get the little baby shakes here in California, fortunately, and I hope it stays that way. But like I was saying, they are kind of fun because you get the little ones, and it's just kind of like wakes you up a little bit. You're like, ooh, That was exciting. And then like every few hours you're like, "Did you feel the earthquake? That was crazy." So it gives you a little something to talk about, I suppose. They're fun, but yeah, 7.1, that's quite the shake. And it's the side to side type of earthquake. Oh, yeah. Not like the rolling ones. The one that was pretty close was that side to side type where it's just like a really kind of violent shake. I like the rolly ones. The rolly ones are nice. The side to side ones are a little scary. It's also one of those things that like until you experience it, I really don't know how to describe what an earthquake feels like to somebody. Like the whole ass ground is just moving under you, you know? And that's a wild feeling. You were driving. Oh no. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you were okay cuz I'm sure that was very scary. Yeah, luckily here they're generally pretty mild. Sometimes people, I think the worst we had one that was pretty close and it set off someone's car alarm. Uh and so people came out after the fact to try to figure out who's if it was their car that was beeping. But that's the closest to anything like that we've had out here. Hopefully it stays that way cuz yeah, 4.0 to 5, even 5 is pretty starting to get pretty heavy shaking. So I'm okay with the mild ones. I don't need to flex being through a bigger one. I'll leave you to be the ultimate survivor. But that's wild. I can't even imagine, especially driving. Mm-mm. No, thank you. But yeah, nature is like metal as hell. It's easy to forget, especially as manufactured and manicured as society and civilization are. We tend to feel like we're yeah, yeah, it is pretty dark, isn't it? I might just be yapping too much and oversteeping it. um, but I think it's easy to forget about just how powerful nature is living in civilization, and then all of a sudden you're reminded that very easily we could just be wiped out by just pure random force of nature. Just gives you reason to cherish every moment, I suppose. To party, bang bang, I am the one. I got the most random songs just popping in and out of my head this morning. Oh yeah, I love Pikachu. One of the first video games that I ever played, and this will definitely date me a little bit. But it was the on the Game Boy Color. It was the Pokemon Special Pikachu Edition game. And so Pokemon was one of the first ever video games that I played. If not like the first. No, I think like Spy versus Spy or something like that was. But Pokemon was definitely one of the first. And my first exposure to Pokemon was in that game where the whole like special thing about it was that Pikachu was your starter. And so I've always had a soft spot, a special place in my heart for Pikachu. Even though I know it's, the basic Pokemon to love, uh, it was my first Pokemon. So I gotta represent. Although I feel like as I've gotten older, I connect more with Slowbro. As I've become a stoner, I've realized that if I had a Pokemon, it would have to be like Slowbro or Slowking, and we would just chill out and get high and eat brownies, and that would be a beautiful life. Oh, this is so random, but I just remembered because we were talking about Seattle earlier. If you do visit Washington and you do want to get some green, Seattle literally has the cheapest weed I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. Ooh, a Pikachu T-Pet would be so lit. I'm gonna have to. Okay, now I gotta look for that because that sounds fire. Honestly, I don't know why it didn't even dawn on. Yes, Snorlax is a vibe. I definitely resonate with Snorlax as well. Oh shit, they got a Totoro one. Yeah, I need so many T-Pets. I need all of the T-Pets, but Pikachu one would be dope. This Totoro one would be dope. Honestly, a Snorlax T-Pet would be such a vibe. Like, it would have to be kind of big. Like, I would need it to be, like sizable. Not gigantic, but like sizable. Take up like a nice corner of the tea tree. Good lord. Hiccups are killing me today. But get them to take up a nice corner of the tea tray. That would be a vibe. Let's see. Pokemon T-Pets. Oh, you know what Pokemon I really like? Is it Mimikyu? It's the one that looks basically like emo Pikachu. Yeah, Mimikyu. That little dude is so cute. That's probably my favorite of like the newer generations of Pokemon. Although a lot of the newer ones are cool, some of them are kind of lame at the same time. I feel like if it ain't Chonky, it ain't Snorlax. Exactly. Exactly. You get me. You get me. Let's see. What's the latest generation of Pokemon? Generation 6. No, 9. I'm just dumb. Alright. Pokemon generation. All Pokemon. Yeah, I was just looking at that. We got Chonky Pikachu. Very cute. Very cute indeed. I saw these other ones that Google pulled up. Uh, and dimensionally, they were a little bit more Pikachu esque, but their eyes were just cursed. Like, so dead. Let's see. Generation 9 Pokemon. Okay, I definitely recognize a bunch of these. Hold up. Let me. This one. All right. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. There we go. All right. This one's cute. Yeah, I like that one. Oh, this dude's adorable. Okay, nah. This one is kind of whack right here. Whoa, they have a tea table with a koi aquarium built in. That's very cool. This dude gives cop vibes. Yeah, see? He's got the police helmet on. Definitely a cop. Le chonk. That's cute.
If you're hearing this, I love you.
Let's see. Checking for the images, and I got a bunch of other messages I'm trying to get through real quick. 1 second. Sorry. There we go. There's your message. Let's see here. Oh, whoa. This is really dope. So this is why I need to visit a tea house, because this sort of stuff is just awesome. All those tea cakes up on display too, and all the teapots. Oh my gosh. That looks awesome. Yeah, I would super love to visit something like that. That seems like a really dope place. I'm sure you had a blast. What the? Oh, it's a spider. Ooh, ooh, what is that? What the hell is that? No. See, this is what I'm talking about. Some of these new Pokemon are a little whack. What am I looking at? Okay, this one's cool. I like this one. Aw, that's cute. Kind of basic, but cute. Is is this a dog made out of donuts? I think this dog is made out of donuts. This is strange. Okay, got a mushroom boy who's made out of rock.
If you're hearing this,
Sodium stack. Oh, no. Alright, this dude right here is my guy. This dude is okay by me. Like, anyone who's got two faces, okay in my book. Oh, this guy's cute. I like that. But he's also just kind of a dog. This is dope. I like this. Is this an evolution? I think. I like this though. What the hell is that? No. Honestly, I find, oh, they're running out of ideas. Yes, yes, they really do seem to be. And do we really need new Pokemon at this point? Like, aren't there literally thousands? Like, I feel like I feel like maybe we could just make tighter gameplay, you know? Especially because like a lot of these are very derivative. Like this is very similar to an existing Pokemon. This is literally a riff on existing Pokemon, like Gen 1 Pokemon even, I'm pretty sure. Um this is okay, I guess. Oh, I like this. This one, I like this one, this final stage. This is just this is just Diglett. Wait, did they really make did they really make a Pokemon named Wiglet? That's so funny. That was definitely the Japanese team who came up with that one because I don't think they would have let that one go in the U.S. That's so funny. Oh, that I gotta send a picture of that to my girlfriend. That's that's the funniest thing I've seen so far in this whole list. Okay, we got the stork. This is just a dolphin, and this is a dolphin with a heart on it. What the hell is that? We got a Segway Pokemon now? This is interesting though, I guess. Okay, we got a worm. Another dog. They really like making dogs, like just different breeds of dogs. Like this is just a flamingo. They just took the N out of the word flamingo. You want to talk about running out of ideas? Like, holy smokes. Talk about phoning it in right there. Jumpins. This is just a riff on Mankey. This dude's cool. That's a cool design. What the hell is that? No. This is just a riff of Jigglypuff. Like, come on. They can't, well, they've made like thousands of them, so I suppose they really could be running out of ideas. I do feel like they're heading in the right direction with the more open world experience. This is weird. It's kind of cool though. It's weird though. I like this one too. Oh, I really like this one. I think that's a pretty neat one. Um, it's Jigglypuff's sister. I see. Where was that one? Right here. Interesting. That dude's face is hilarious. But yeah, I do feel like they're headed in the right direction with making the games more open world. That's neat. And I just think they need to flesh out the gameplay a little bit. I feel like the traditional Pokemon gameplay loop is a little bit repetitive, and I think you give people a little bit more, like if you build up maybe like a survival element, kind of like what was it, Pal World, you know, that had the addition of the survival elements where the gameplay was a little more rounded. I do think that we could finally get the way that, whoa, this dude is sick. I think we could finally get to a version of Pokemon that was the way we kind of envisioned it, playing it as kids growing up. You know what I'm saying? So this is derivative of one of the god Pokemon, right? If I'm remembering correctly, like this is one of the Pokemon that's basically God, and then they put a hat on him. Or does it just look like that guy? This is God's brother. We're gonna find out. We made it to the end. What the hell is that? This did not make it. It's a blueberry? A subjugation Pokemon. It's a colonizer. There's some good ones in here. What the? Hydra? What? And then there's some that I'm just not really sure where they're going with this. This is cute, I guess. Interesting. I do love Pokemon though. I wish they would maybe give us a little bit better gameplay and quit phoning it in as much. But I do got love for the series. I want another live action Pokemon movie like so badly. Detective Pikachu was great, and it just makes me want more of that kind of content, because that was awesome getting to see the Pokemon world in that way. I'd love a little bit more mature Pokemon that gives us some of the like grit of battle, you know, nothing like super heavy. Like we don't need to see a Pokemon get like mauled and eviscerated, but it would just be cool to see, like, you know, them take some knocks and like get a little beat up during the battle and like feel a little bit more weight to the attacks because of that. But Pokemon's dope. I hope that we get some good cool Pokemon releases in the near future. That's another thing. If I had a bunch of money to blow, I'd probably be buying Pokemon cards and doing Pokemon pulls. Because I don't know. I could maybe do Yu-Gi-Oh as well, but again, I would need money that I don't have because that stuff's expensive. But Magic doesn't really speak to me. Yu-Gi-Oh kinda. I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh as well, but Pokemon's always been special. It's had my heart since I was a kid. So if I ever end up with money to waste and I have too much tea, I'd probably start buying Pokemon cards. But I think I'm gonna wrap up stream here for today. Appreciate you hanging out, Sammy. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you later. Be blessed. Thank you.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
If you're hearing this, I love you. you're hearing this, I love you.